John Eats Cheap, and welcome to our vacation. Mrs. Cheap and I went west to Las Vegas for a few days and Hollywood for a few days. We'd been to Vegas a lot, never been to LA or Hollywood area, and we loved it. We really had a great time out there. Sharing some of our side trips we made. We're, movie and TV geeks, and, we're thrilled to see like the house from Father of the Bride. So take you along, see some of the homes that we saw along the way in Hollywood. Of course, on our trip around LA, a lot of landmarks, and of course, we took pictures of them, as many as we could. Enjoy. And of course, on a big trip, you have to eat. And we like to eat at some places we probably wouldn't normally eat. When we're on vacation, we like to do that. That's why we eat cheap all year, so we can splurge on vacation. We ate at some famous places, and we had some great food at some places that probably a lot of people haven't heard of. So our food picks from our trip to Hollywood and Las Vegas. John Eats Cheap, Las Vegas, Lake Promenade. We are here. I want to eat some of this food and make sure, that it's as good as everybody else's should be. We got the fish and chips with Parmesan truffle fries. Fries are good. In a chip or a fish, which feels hot. Get a little of the tartar sauce. I was worried because they don't cook it fresh. They got it in a warming bin, but
My first time ever. I'm too old for
that's good. It's hot. It's a good fish and chips. It was $26 for 3-piece. It was extra because we got Parmesan fries and then a drink. So not outrageous, pretty expensive, but it's pretty tasty. So there we go. Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips. You know what? We have a food truck near us that has great fish, and that's kind of what this is, like a cod fillet, just with the batter, not too thick. And this is the special tartar sauce that Gordon makes. And yeah, it's tartar sauce. I don't know. $26. Yeah, it was okay. It was decent. It comes in a nice bag too.
I think that's what we're paying for.
Probably, yeah. John Eats Cheap at a place Mrs. Cheap heard about a few years ago, has wanted to come here all the time. It's in Las Vegas, the Cosmopolitan. It's called Eggslut, and it's a breakfast place. And first off, there's a long line. We're here early on a weekday morning, and long line to wait. Mrs. Cheap got the food. I stayed at the table so we'd have a place to shoot here. We got, let's see. Those are,
That's the
potatoes or something? Hash browns?
truffle
Okay.
hash browns.
Oh, okay. And there's a sandwich.
The
And here-
Fairfax.
And here is what we really want to try. All right, this might be kind of hot, right? Should be.
Should be.
That's the Eggslut. It is pureed potato on the bottom. Then they put an egg on top. Put it in a jar, you know, a little chive, a little sea salt. That's it. So you got a poached egg. You get a little bread. Should I try it with the bread?
Yeah.
That's the way you're supposed to do it. You just dip in. All the way down. I want some potato. I think I got some. That is an egg like I've never had before. And a very good one. Thumb up for the Eggslut. Perfectly poached. All right, so John Eats Cheap recap from Eggslut in Las Vegas. The Eggslut, I think this will be easy to recreate. This is one I want to recreate. It's kind of cool and cooking it all at once, but it was kind of just mashed potatoes with an egg on top. Gray sea salt, I like that. The sandwich, this was the Fairfax, is that what it's called?
Right.
That's like their signature sandwich. It's all egg and onions and a little spicy sauce, a little sriracha. No meat on that. But it was good sandwich and a good fluffy bun. Love that. And the truffle, whatever?
Hash browns.
Yeah, truffle hash browns. See, this is why we eat cheap all year, so we can spend a little extra money on the extravagant stuff like truffle hash browns. And they were good. They weren't real hot, but they were good. John Eats Cheap in Southern California, and I haven't eaten here in 25, 30 years since they moved out of the Midwest. Shakey's, bunch of lunch, pizza, JoJo potatoes, chicken, bunch of lunch. Hey, that's eating cheap, right? Only in California, pretty much. Hey, John Eats Cheap at a LA institution. Pink's Hot Dogs. Never been here, looking forward to it. We're gonna get the signature chili cheese dog at Pink's. There you go, Pink's. Chili cheese dogs with pasteurized processed cheese. Order of fries. They're a little seasoned and they're hot. That's good. Now the legend. That's a good chili dog. That was, I think, $6. That's not too bad. For a name brand in a place like Hollywood. I didn't really get that snap out of the dog that I always hear about, but that doesn't matter to me. Tasty, and we're in Hollywood. John Eats Cheap. We actually are having kind of a cheap lunch today. We're in the LA Farmers Market, and lots of little restaurants here, kind of like mini food trucks. We're trying the empanadas. I don't know which one's which. They're hot though.
I think they have the names on them.
Original and carne asada.
Alright.
Oh, that's cool. Branded it right on there. Going in, it's very hot. Wow. There's some good filling in there. They are filled up. Thumbs up. Hey, John Eats Cheap in Hollywood, California, and we're at a legendary restaurant, Musso and Frank's. This is why we eat cheap all year, so we can splurge once in a while. So taking Mrs. Cheap out for a nice meal. This is from the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they made a lot of deals, and we're in the back area where the valet is, and the sign right out of the movie. Let's have some great food. Musso and Frank's in Hollywood. All right, so Johnny's Cheap recap of Musso and Frank's. It was very good, very tasty. Mrs. Cheap had the filet. I had the scallops, which were terrific. Probably twice as much as what you would pay at a normal restaurant, but they were really, really good, perfectly cooked. And the side dish, it was like $12 for Lyonnaise potatoes, which are pretty much like really thick cut, deep fried potatoes. And then underneath it, they had a whole bunch of like stewed onions that were seasoned a little bit. Those were very good. Easy to share. And then Mrs. Cheap got this beauty to bring home. Yeah, that'd be your chocolate mousse cake. We're going to have that a little bit later. Splurged a lot. Our total was about $120 plus tip. But, you know, oh, I had my whiskey sour too, just like Rick Dalton in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great experience, lovely place. And you know what? We're in Hollywood. Hey, John Eats Cheap in the sunny Southern California sunshine. Crashing waves in the background. Beautiful spot. We're at the Santa Monica Pier, a place I've always wanted to come. Do your research, though. We're early risers, and we got here a little early, so there's really nothing open. It's kind of dog walkers and us. But hey, it's beautiful, and it's free until we eat or drink. But that's coming up later. Rolling down the PCH. We feel like locals. Plenty of beach.
And traffic.
Hey, John Eats Cheap. Well, we're not eating cheap today. We're in Malibu, California. That's nothing cheap in Malibu. But look at the view. We're on the PCH. Probably about 30 feet off the highway. Ocean view at Neptune's Net. We heard a lot of good things about this, and we're getting a big sampler platter so we can try it all. That's the Neptune Net Sampler, $39.95. Calamari, shrimp, fish, crab cake, scallops, fries, and coleslaw.
We're gonna dig in.
John Eats Cheap, vacationing cheap, because this was free. It's up in the Hollywood Hills. As you can see, mountains all around me. And Mrs. Cheap and I had to go on a hike, which is free. That's extra cheap. Uphill all the way to get here, though. But I've loved this place since I was a kid. The TV show Batman. Look at this. There's the Bat Cave. That's where the Batmobile would come screaming out of, and that little thing would fall down here so they could drive over it. And they couldn't go very fast because it's a very short turn. They're off a cliff. The Bat Cave, dream come true. And that is LA and Hollywood, which Mrs. Cheap and I loved. The weather was great the whole time we were there. And although it did rain for about 5 minutes one day, So we were kind of surprised by that. I was surprised. Everybody says how long it takes to get everywhere. And I don't know if it was where we were staying, that we were pretty centrally located. We stayed at the Holiday Inn Express right near the Hollywood Bowl and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And there is so much within that vicinity. That's a great place to stay because you're close to a lot of stuff. And we saw pretty much everything we wanted to see while we were out there and didn't have any horrible traffic problems. And for the most part, drivers were nice. They're the ones who, got to get around you and get where they got to go and get out of their way. But for the most part, I was really surprised at the ease of getting through traffic and getting around. It was a very navigable city. Thanks to GPS, that helps a lot. I can't imagine trying to navigate it with maps, but we had a great time. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and any questions, post them in the comments and we'll try and answer them, and we can't wait to go back.
We saw a celebrity.
We saw a celebrity. Saw Kevin Smith walking down one of the canyon trails, and it was obviously Kevin Smith, and we're huge fans, but we didn't stop and bother him. You're welcome, Kevin Smith. Thanks for watching John Eats Cheap. Questions below, like, share. If you know somebody who's going to be doing this trip, share the link with them. And thanks for watching John Eats Cheap.